double pop there. You're looking for orangey autumn peaches. Okay, so there's your mother of pearl. We can see that there's no pearls on that side. We have a squidge in here. Ooh. You are twinning. You're twinning with Blairpool twins. Now this one here is visually darker and visually smaller between the two. So you can see in some lights it's more blue, in some lights it's more purple. His twin is visually lighter and visually larger. So Blairpool twins, but we can see that there is a difference between the two. Oyster number 2. That's just a piece of shell there, by the way. That's not a pearl at all. So oyster number 2. Double pop there. And there's your mother of pearl. And you've got 1 there, but I can also see 2 and 3. You have triples from your second oyster. Okay, so you've got a darker, oh, he looks like he's got some chocolate in him actually. So very dark, deep chocolate tone. So gorgeous deep chocolate. You've then got a 2-tonal silver chocolate and then a silver bells. So it's sort of a transition between the 3 colours. Dark chocolate, and silver bells. And then moving on to your last oyster. Quite a nice deep pop there. And there's your mother of pearl. There's no more in that one. You are twinning for a second time, my lovely. So this time, twinning Blairpools again. Now, visually, one does look slightly larger than the other, but colour-wise, they are very, very similar. So, oh, sorry, this one here is the visually smaller. And then this one here is the visually larger. Now, he does look like he's got a couple of little imperfections on there, but not massively so, just little inclusion indents on them. Okay, Nicola, what do you think to these? Now, I need to know which ones you'd like on your jewellery. If you're happy with these, then they are yours, and I'll need to know, like I said, which ones you'd like where. If you're not happy, I can swap them for colours of your choice. So at the top, you've got twinning Blairpools, 1 darker, 1 lighter. Dark chocolate, and silver bells, and then twinning darker Blairpools at the bottom. So I've run them through the board. Lighter Blairpool twin 1 is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, not a 7, not a 7.5, not an 8. He's an 8.5. His twin is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, not a 7, not a 7.5. He's an 8. So they are measuring the different sizes there. Silver bells is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6. He's a 6.5. Silver chocolate is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, not a 7. He's a 7.5. And the dark chocolate is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5. He is a 7. And then Blairpool twin number 1 is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, not a 7, not a 7.5, not an 8. He's an 8.5. Blairpool number 2 is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, not a 7, not a 7.5. He is an 8. So they are measuring the different sizes there. Nicola, what do you think? What would you like to do?